welcome to our next vlog on self-care and how to gain a healthier, happier version of you. I'm Sophia from Trident Wellbeing. I'm a mind, wellbeing coach, author, martial art instructor and personal trainer. In this series, I'm focusing on weight loss with real tools and practices that you can do quickly and easily. Most of you listening to this have probably tried many of the conventional methods to lose weight and found they are largely unsuccessful. I don't know precisely what they were, but if you're on this site, then I guess you're searching for something that has better results and that's going to be more long-standing. However, I'm not going to be focusing on diets or on specific exercise programs, though if you want more information on them, just send me a message or an email. Right now, you might be feeling disillusioned with your results, but with my series, you'll be on a health journey towards different practices. Each week, I'm going to help you develop new neural pathways, develop new habits, and help you to rewire those unhealthy practices. Last week, we went on 2 self-care practices, and I recommended that if you're watching for the first time, scan through that first. Hopefully by now you're noticing changes in your self-talk. You're catching yourself when you start criticizing yourself, or when you're believing other people's negativity and looking at how you can change their words and their tone. You will also hopefully have identified a role model that you can relate to, somebody that you admire, and hopefully you've investigated what their healthy practices are. And this is where you can use social media to your advantage. If you have a role model that's not a friend or a colleague or a relative, you can go in search of someone else that you admire. Pay attention to how they speak to themselves. How do they talk about what they do? What's their tone? What are their actual daily habits? And maybe what was their journey to health? Again, I'm not asking you to focus on special diets at this time, but more on how your body feels and how it responds. So this week, in our second week, I'm going to give you 2 new strategies for self-care. And the first one is to move it. It's time to just move a bit more. I want you to think about how active you are each day. Now, there's been studies done in Australia's Bakers Institute, the Diabetes Institute, and the University of Queensland, and they studied 11,000 people and discovered that sitting is the new smoking. Now, I know that seemed a bit of a stretch, and I had to check it out too, but apparently for each cigarette, you could lose 11 minutes of your life, and for every hour you sit and don't move, it's 22 minutes. Just getting up and walking and moving around the office, going to the water cooler, going to the bathroom, they're all beneficial movements. Other studies have been done on morbidity and mortality and the consequences of those if you couldn't get up if you had a fall. These are significantly increased. So it makes sense to keep those muscles active, just from a physiological perspective. Now, you can probably find lots of reasons not to move, and you can justify them. And I deal with limiting beliefs more in my online course. But for the time being, let's just keep in mind our role model, just our self-talk, and strategize how you can move more. Just a little bit more every day. I like using a wearable tracker. It measures heart rate, measures active minutes, as well as those steps. For those of you that don't have one, there are plenty of free apps that you can get on your phone, and they're able to track your steps and some of the gradients that you might be walking up and down. Remember, and it's said by many of the gurus, what gets measured gets done. So what I'm asking you to do at this early stage is just to move more, to increase your steps. Ideally, I'd like you to do 12,000 steps a day, but at least the recommended 10. Now, that's not as hard as it sounds. A quick walk around the block can add 1,000 to 2,000 steps. Errands around a shopping centre, and I've measured these, you can do 3,000 to 5,000 steps. But you won't know what 3,000 to 5,000 steps feels like unless you track it. You'll just be guessing. You won't know how it feels like in your body. You won't know how it feels like in your mind and what you feel like afterwards. Now, the beauty of moving, besides strengthening those muscles and increasing our heart rate and burning extra calories, is that you simply feel better. And these are all pretty good reasons just to up your movement. Now, I'm not saying go pump iron or plan a marathon or even take up running. At this stage, all I'd like you to do is just move more. Walk, Do a class that you like. Exercise for 30 minutes to an hour. It doesn't need to be pricey or time consuming, but if you can elevate your heart rate enough, preferably enough to sweat, you're going to get those added benefits. So start with increasing your steps and work up from there. This journey I'm taking you on is bite-sized chunks. So my challenge is for you in just one way or another, just to get the steps up for this week. Now the second strategy for today, and that is some you time. I'd like you to find a time to plan, to think, and to enjoy your life and to take some time out and relax. Often we become really overwhelmed in the day-to-day activities of caring for everyone else, for earning, for people pleasing, and then we kind of run out of steam altogether. We have no energy to self-care, we have no energy to move, forget about trying to eat well. We even have little energy to catch our self-talk when it runs away from us or we make excuses. Now I know many of you are thinking, I can't, I haven't time, I shouldn't. But the downside is this, that if you don't look after yourself, you will break down, you will collapse, you'll get sick, and then you actually won't have a choice but to stop. So doesn't it make sense just to invest in a little bit of self-care? This might look different to different people. For some it might be a 20-minute-a-day break once a week. Sometimes it might be a half a day. Whatever works in your household, but regular, consistent self-care is regenerative and it makes us more available to those that are important to us. Maybe you have to ask for more help or lower your standards around the house. Maybe you need to learn a new skill or how to meditate, book in a massage, whatever self-care looks like to you. I personally find it really hard to do this, and I feel like because I can do something that I have enough energy right now, I should just keep doing and keep giving. However, I know that once I start to hit that wall, my patience is less, my frustrations are more, and I'm probably not being my best self. So I try and find time just before bed to read or meditate or just be. And this is only a short period of time, but it does help me recharge, reboot, and mentally and physically regenerate. Now, I don't know what self-care looks like to you, but I do know that if you find the time regularly, you'll be more available to tackle not just the tasks we're focusing on here, but on whatever else might come your way. Now, in the past, I was a registered nurse, and I saw many people with chronic diseases, long-term hospitalizations, and there were significant correlations with their level of stress, their level of overwhelm, and the level of overweight. And this all was depicted through a definite lack of self-care. The only thing we really know for sure is that life's not infinite. So now we owe it to ourselves and to those we love to make the most out of every day. So until next week, please practice these next 2 really easy strategies. The more you practice them, the more you will rewire the new, healthier you. Let me know how you went by posting below or send me a message, because I really want you to live your best, healthiest, happiest life, and don't you deserve it? So if you like what I've got to say, click on the button below and subscribe, and stay tuned until next week. Sending you much love and hopefully some workable strategies until then.